Yo guys, what is up and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and this is another episode of my F1 2019 modded career mode here today for round 11 of the season for the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring. If you guys missed the last episode at Silverstone, then go watch the video guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner for the British Grand Prix to go see exactly what happened in that race. But today we are here to pretty much kick off the halfway point / the second half of the season as we arrive here at Germany. And in terms of the weather forecast, we have more rain expected this time for qualifying, heavy showers predicted, and then no rain on the race on Sunday. So it could be an interesting qualifying session here, as we did recently have rain a couple of races ago. And also in terms of upgrades elsewhere, Mercedes in their home race bring a big upgrade package, and they close the gap to the top 4 teams there. So things getting tighter at the top, and Williams still at the very bottom, not really feeling the need to improve for some reason, as they're still sat really far at the bottom of the table and yet to bring an upgrade this season. But nonetheless, we're now going to move into qualifying here at Hockenheim, and we're going to see how we get on in this qualifying session. Of course, full rain, so it's going to be really tricky. I do apologise in advance guys if there are some audio issues in this session. The audio was absolutely incredibly out of sync in so many ways, and I've tried my best to fix it as best as I can, but there may be some inconsistencies. Either way, we jump into qualifying. My first run is 1.1 off the pace of Leclerc, so really poor opening lap. It didn't feel that bad, but we just wasn't on the pace in the first run, P9 only, and we invalidate our very next attempt, so I decided to have a call-off lap, and then I went again for another time lap, after that one call-off lap. And this lap was much better. Verstappen now setting the pace with a 19.7. That's 1.7 quicker than what I've currently done. So we need to improve, and we need to try and find some more lap time as we make our way down to turn 2. We're going to see already through sector 1 we're about 2 tenths up here and improving on our previous best as we get massively sideways there, kicking out onto the back straight. Currently down in P13. And, mixing up with the Toro Rossos and Williams cars, and we then get pushed down to P17, make that P18 by the end of the lap, as we are going to improve by near enough 9/10 of a second, and we jump up into the top 10, up to 8th place, but still a long 8/10 off the pace of Max Verstappen. After that lap though, I tried to go for one more, and it was going okay. We didn't really go much faster, but then I cut the corner, and I decided to abandon, pit in, and strap on a fresh set of boots, because we have 2 sets of full wet tyres, and we're going to try and go again. So here we are on our second run this time, and this was the first lap of the second run, and we're about 4 to 3.5 tenths up as we make our way through the final couple of corners here. And it's all about just holding the lap together and trying to finish strongly here as we go through the final corner, opening all the traction up, all the overall straight line speed of the car, trying to open up the taps, and we do go P2, so 4 tenths off the pace. We do improve by 4 tenths, and the second place was actually pretty good, but I felt like there was more time in the car, and I was struggling with the brakes a bit in this session. I will admit the locking up was quite noticeable, which made me have to brake a lot earlier than I normally would do. But you can see here we weren't really improving on this run, so I decided to just let off the gas and abandon actually and get off the run along the back straight and just have a cool down lap. And now we're going to run on board for my best lap of the qualifying session here, so let's see what we can do as we try to get the power down at the final corner. And I'm going to leave you guys with the full lap here at the Hockenheimring. Here we go then, up to the line, and we do improve marginally by 0.5 tenth, and we do close the gap to Verstappen slightly. We do extend turn 1 straight away after that. I wanted to go for one more lap, but unfortunately that extension meant it was the end of our qualifying session. And also, unfortunately for us, Danny Kvyat and George Russell did improve on their laps afterwards, so we got pushed down to P4 in the end. And yeah, not the best qualifying, to be fair. I think there was a bit more time in the car. Could we have gone for pole? I'm not sure, but we definitely had pace for second place. I think that was definitely possible. Verstappen also improving to a 19.6 in the end. Really strong pace from him in the Red Bull here today, and he's back on top after a couple of poor races. So Verstappen obviously needs to deliver, he needs a big result, and Kvyat on the front row, hopefully he can try and challenge him off the line in the race. But we're going to start on row 2 alongside George Russell. Behind us we have Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz on row 3, Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez on row number 4, with Albon and Bottas on row number 5. We then move on to the second half of the table, and we have Antonio Giovinazzi and Lewis Hamilton on row 6, with Hulkenberg and Gasly there on row 7, Magnussen and Raikkonen on row 8, with Ricciardo and Grosjean, Norris and Stroll bringing up the rear, both Williams at the back and quite a way off the pace, especially Lance Stroll, nearly 2 seconds off the pace in that Williams. But that is it for qualifying here at the Hockenheimring, and we're now going to move into the race for round 11 of the season for the German Grand Prix. Here we are then for the start of the race for the German Grand Prix, starting on row 2 alongside George Russell in P4 here today. Verstappen and Kvyat in front of us on the front row. Beautiful sunny conditions here today. No sign of rain in the air. Also, you can see in the weather forecast confirmation of no rain. And in terms of the strategy, the team recommends we go medium to hard. A very simple one-stop strategy, really. If I can squeeze a soft tire in, I might try and go for it, but I think we're going to try and commit to that. I think that's going to be what everybody's going to do, really. So this is going to be a tricky race where I don't think strategy is going to play a major part. It's all going to be down to on-track overtakes and general race pace. So we'll see how we get on. Either way, the target is simple. Get a podium, maybe even second place. Try and do some damage limitation. If we can win the race, then that'd be fantastic. But I'm not 100% confident. I feel like Verstappen's got a lot of pace around here. So either way, let's try and do our best and try and maintain our championship lead. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on here for the German Grand Prix. Here we go then, the lights are coming on for the German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheimring. And it's lights out and away we go. And it's a good start from us. Kvyat gets away off to a flyer as well. And he takes the lead down the inside of turn 1. We're going to try and get past George Russell. And there we go, we get past, and it's a fantastic start for both of us. Kvyat hits the front and we take third place, getting ahead of George Russell. Let's see if we can get a good exit here and try and get ourselves onto Verstappen. If I can pass him straight away, that would be fantastic. On the back straight currently, it looks like Verstappen has good straight line speed, of course, from that toe from Kvyat as we go down towards the hairpin. Just going to adjust the brake bias a little bit as we go into the hairpin. Going to try and pick up a bit of acceleration here on the traction. Looks like we can't quite make it count. So for now, it's a 1-3, but a really good start from us. Almost best case scenario, really. I was really surprised that happened, but it has been a good start. It seems like everybody around us is on the medium tyre, so it's going to be the race of the medium compound tyre. Let's try and keep pace with these two, and maybe even pass Verstappen and get that second place to try and relegate him a bit further back. But Kvyat hitting the front is perfect because it stops Verstappen from doing his usual hitting the front and pulling away technique, and breaking the DRS after 2 laps. So at least this way it's going to delay him a little bit. Pace looks good as DRS will now be enabled on lap 3. Let's see if we can try and get closer to Verstappen and try and put him under some pressure. For now, it looks like he may go for a move on Kvyat here. And Kvyat may lose the lead of the race. He is doing a good job, to be fair. He is opening up a bit of a gap to Verstappen. Let's see if we can put some pressure on. Actually, to be fair, we're gaining on Verstappen quite a lot here. The Ferrari is showing its straight line speed, which is good into the hairpin. I'm going to try and go for a bit of a switchback on Verstappen here. Good exit from us. Verstappen definitely hasn't got his engine turned up anymore. We're gaining on him. Do I dare go for it? He goes defensive. That just puts him offline a little bit. Keep the pressure on if we can. This will also allow Kvyat to pull away, which I don't mind. As long as I beat Verstappen, I'll be happy. So let's try and keep the pressure on him. Okay, we're pretty close again. Let's see if I can get a nice exit onto this back straight. A little bit sideways there, but we just about catch it. Purple sector 1, but we're more than close enough to make a move on Verstappen. Here we go, we're gaining full power. Can we try and get past? Max does have DRS of his own, but we're going to go for it. I've got to go early on the brakes to avoid hitting my teammate. Slight bit of contact as we lock up the front right, but we make the move. It has now become a front 3. George Russell has dropped back. He can't quite keep up with the pace. Struggling there with some dirt here a little bit through the final couple of corners. Verstappen just pulling away a little bit now and building up a bit of a gap again. Looks like he may be going for this. He seems to have his engine turned up a little bit more. He may even go for a move on Kvyat this lap. Let's see. Let's watch from afar, but he's definitely picking up the pace. I don't think he's going to be close enough for now, so that's okay. Kvyat stays in the lead for a bit longer. Verstappen's really putting the pressure on Kvyat now. Purple sector 2 from me. And we do take away the fastest lap from Verstappen, only just. Trying to close back up to him because he's putting some pressure on Kvyat and I want to try and help him out. But it does feel like Verstappen's going to get this move done. He's really close this time. And he is running in a high engine mode, so you can tell the difference. Let's see if he gets him on the straight. I think he is. He's gaining a lot more this time. He's close. But we are gaining ourselves as well. Just looks like he just can't quite make it work. It seems like the Ferrari does have some good straight line speed. Kvyat's able to stay ahead. I'm actually bloody close this time, although he just starts to edge away a little bit. Just trying to force him to go defensive. Like that. There we go. If I can just get him to detach from Kvyat's DRS, I'll get past Verstappen very easily. But for now, Kvyat's DRS is keeping him in play. It does seem like the Ferrari has the pace around here, at least on race pace wise, which makes a change. The last few races, it has felt like the Red Bull was the faster car, they just haven't made it count. I really suffer with dirty here in those final 2 corners. Seems like Max doesn't have the same problem. But I really pick up a lot of understeer, and it just sets me back a little bit, and I'm not quite close enough to make a move here. Kvyat goes defensive actually. Seems like Max has got his engine turned up if that's the case. As we get sideways. That was really messy. Back end all over the place. This could be Max's chance. He's really close this time. Here he goes. Looks like he's got it done. Kvyat on the switchback, I think, or on the outside. We'll see how this one pans out. Looks like Max is saving energy though, because his light is flashing, so doesn't quite add up. Either way, Max hits the front. But these two are still going at it. It's been a messy lap from me. I wasn't there when I needed to be. Seems like Max is really going for this. He's pushing hard and he's opening a gap. Let's see if Kvyat can respond on this straight to try and close the gap a bit. We know how fast the Ferrari is on the straight. Just seems like Kvyat's lacking a bit of speed. He's saving energy. I'm going to try and go the long way around, get a switch back. Doesn't quite work out, but we are still alongside our teammate. It's going to be a good old-fashioned drag race down to the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. We have got the legs on him on the outside. Inside for the next one. And there we go. Nice move. Nice and tidy. Let's try and get onto the back of Verstappen, who's pulled away because of that. Gap is 1.3, so he's out of DRS, which is really bad. We can't be having that. I've got to try and close him down. It's amazing how Kvyat has suddenly lost pace. Verstappen's really pushing here. I'm trying to hang on. I actually need to get into DRS now to keep the pace, because I'm struggling to at the minute. I'm all over the place. Track extension. Not a good end to the lap. Gap's gone back up to 1.3 again, which is not what I wanted. Verstappen's too quick. I can't keep up. He's just suddenly really picked up the pace. Kvyat now 2.5 adrift. He really doesn't have the pace to keep up, and I can't keep up with Verstappen. He's just flipped the switch and gone. 1 minute 10.8. That's really fast. I can't match that pace, even at full power. I've given up on Max now. I've put the engine back down to standard mode. I can't match that pace. He's too fast every single lap. He's just suddenly found something. And you can see my engine as well. You know, we've done a whole season on some components, so some of them are feeling the wear and tear now. Either way, I'm happy with second place if we finish here. I've got no complaints. But I've also lost a bit of pace of my own now, and I can't quite match up. Gap is 2.4 either way to Verstappen and Kvyat, so let's try and keep it that way. That was a better lap from me, only 1/10 off my personal best. I did turn the engine up, but it's a better lap to kind of let Verstappen know that I'm still there. And also Kvyat was starting to pull me in a little bit, so that lap just kind of re-establishes my lead over him. At the minute, I'm more concerned about defending second place and keeping Kvyat behind. I don't think we've got the pace to beat Verstappen, unfortunately. There is a part of me that does think, you know what, maybe we could go long on these and try and go for the soft tyres, because the tyre wear isn't that bad. But on the other hand, I'm just going to play it safe, I think, and secure the points. And I think damage limitation is the best we can do here today. I did think we had the pace in the first part of the race, but suddenly Verstappen just flipped the race on its head, and we had no response. Here we go then, we're going to pit in. Last minute call. I was going to go to lap 18, that was the original strategy, but we're going to go back to our original pit stop lap and play it safe, go for the hard tyres. Get this down to the 80, there we go. Kvyat stays out, so no stacking. We should be okay, no traffic in the pit lane. Here we go onto the hard tyres. Perfect stop, 2 seconds flat, no complaints. So we're going to get back underway here. Turn the engine up and get up to speed nice and quickly, hopefully. We rejoin in P6, Verstappen P5. Clear track, but I tend to lose time to that AI in the pit stop phase, whether it's an undercut or an overcut, so we've got to try and push and do the best we can. See, the gap to Verstappen's gone up to 4.4 now, even though it was like 3.5. Really strange, but we always lose time in the pit stop phase. Kvyat pits along with Russell and also Lewis Hamilton. Basically anyone that hasn't pit yet will pit, so we'll take back our second place. And there's confirmation of it. I was leaving the pit exit, there is Danny Kvyat. So back to second place. This may be a bit of a boring final stint unless maybe my pace drops off and Kvyat catches me, but the target is to finish in second place and kind of round it off, so let's secure the bag and take the podium. I'm on a push lap here. Verstappen fastest lap of the race, 1:10.8. We beat that with a 0.4. If I can't win the race, I can at least go for the fastest lap and get an extra point and do some damage limitation. But that's all I got in the tank, so if that lap gets beaten, it gets beaten. Pace is dropping a bit. Verstappen is just flying away now, and also Kvyat is actually catching me quite a bit. Seems like if I don't pick up the pace, I'm going to be in trouble. I can't seem to run in standard engine mode, it's not enough. I need to be running in hot lap mode, so you can see in the bottom right I'm waiting to charge my battery up. Once I've got a full charge, next lap we'll go for a couple of push laps, but for now I'm stuck in standard push mode. Oh, yellow flag behind. It's not Kvyat or Russell, it's somebody else, and it's a racing point. Maybe Lewis Hamilton. We may have our first retirement of the Grand Prix or a VSC. It's Sergio Perez. Seems like there won't be a safety car or a VSC from that. So we'll stay out. Pace is just not there. Gap is 1.8. Kvyat is catching. I'm willing to surrender second place to him. I'm more focused on Russell in P4. We don't want to let the position drop to him, so we can still get a double podium. That would be a good result for us as a team. Obviously I'm going to try and stay in front of Kvyat as long as I can, as we've got another yellow flag in Sector 2. But if Kvyat does arrive, I won't put up a fight. Romain Grosjean out of the Grand Prix in the Toro Rosso, but again no safety car VSC, so we continue on as normal. Kvyat's almost here, gap is 1.2. I'm just trying to prolong it as long as I can. Try and delay the DRS effect, and then when it does arrive I won't fight it, I don't think. Because Russell is right there, he's closing in. And I'd rather waste my resources on trying to defend from Russell than defend from Kvyat. And potentially put us, both one position down and give Russell a second place. Kvyat more than close enough now. I'm going to try and hold on for a tad longer, and I'll let him pass on the back straight. Easy does it. Let's try not to cost each other time. Russell is not too far behind. Here goes Kvyat. I'll let him have the left hand side. I'll keep my engine turned up so I don't lose too much pace. And there we go, that's the effective way of doing it. Now we've got to try and follow him. Hopefully he can drag me along, use his pace, and we can stay on the back of him and use his DRS to hopefully keep me ahead of Russell. And dare I say, if we're still within range on the very last lap, we'll try and take him back, but if not, I'll take a third place, I won't complain. And this is why we're following Kvyat, purple sector 1. That's what we want. I'm trying to time it so that I get onto the back without him defending. There goes our fastest lap. Verstappen takes it. 1:10.4, the AI now starting to pick up the pace. Like always, they're coded to go for the fastest lap right at the end, so they're going to push. I'm doing okay though, I'm hanging on. I think we can do this. I think I can take back my second place in the last lap if I just stick with Kvyat here. I've got enough engine mode and fuel to make this move happen. Another fast lap from Verstappen, 1:10.2. I was on course to beat that this lap, or his previous one anyway, but not that one. That's too fast. We are going to set a personal best over 0.3. 2 laps to go. I'm trying to stick with Kvyat here, who's definitely picking up the pace. I think we may have to accept Kvyat taking P2 in this race. I'm flat out now, I've got nothing left in the tank, but he's just a bit too fast. Trying to close in, but I have no confidence in the braking. Rear tyres are going. I think we're too far back for a move. Purple sector 1, that's the best I can do. I think we're too far back, or are we? Come on, we're gaining on our teammate. Don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough. Keep the pressure on. Nice exit. Kvyat's got his engine turned up. I can't match him. I wish there was some way like asking for team orders, because the gap to Russell is big enough so we could swap back, but it is what it is. I just don't have the pace. Let's push though. I can still pick up the extra point for the fastest lap maybe. Track warning. Track limits warning. Verstappen with the 10-0 at the end. That's an astonishing lap time as we go through the final corner. Flat out, giving everything I've got, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be P3, and it's not going to be a fastest lap.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they secured here.
Right, so looking at the final race results then here today for the German Grand Prix, Max Verstappen flips a switch and fights back in the World Drivers' Championship, picking up 25 points plus a fastest lap, which means 26 points in total. He brings 11 points over me in the championship and cuts the deficit. Danny Kvyat P2, we run off the podium. George Russell in P4, Carlos Sainz and Bottas in 5th and 6th for both of the McLarens. A good result from them. Sebastian Vettel in his home race, P7 for Mercedes ahead of Hamilton, Leclerc and Albon running up the top 10 here today for Haas. Missing out the points, we have Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Raikkonen, Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Grosjean and Sergio Perez. And in terms of the standings after that race, as you can see on screen, we are 31 points clear of Verstappen, so the gap does come down as we go into the next race at the Hungaroring, which is also not my best track, so a strong chance for Verstappen there to potentially get more points back, especially because that track really suits the Red Bull. But then we've got two power tracks in Spa and Monza, which should hopefully suit our car a bit more, as Kvyat also overtakes Russell for 3rd place, so Kvyat back on top of him in that respective battle. And in terms of the constructors, we are 34 points clear going into the halfway point / the summer break kind of thing as we go into the next race of Hungary. But that is it, guys, from me here today at the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a big fat like on it, I'd greatly appreciate it, and also subscribe if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, guys, on the channel, and also turn on notifications to not miss any content from me that may arrive in your sub boxes, whether it be F1, F2 or mods, whatever it may be. And also, guys, check out these two videos on your screen if you have missed them. But that is it from me here today for the German Grand Prix, and I'll see you next time in the Hungarian Grand Prix at Budapest. But until then, it's goodbye from me.